Welcome to Joe's Astrology, and this is the birth chart for Carlos Sainz Jr. And there's no birth time for him, so we have his sun, it's in Virgo. His moon is in Cancer, conjunct Mars. And the first thing that jumps out about his chart here being I don't really know anything about him. I just saw he's a race car. It looks like he's a race car driver. We see this moon that's in Cancer is in the second decan there, 14 degrees of Cancer, which is the Scorpio decan. So before I say anything, we think of race car driver. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is Aries, Mars, Scorpio, Mars, Pluto. And here, right away, we see the moon is conjunct Mars. There in Cancer, as I said, it's in the Scorpio decan. I have a moon conjunct Mars, and I've always gravitated towards sports from a very young age, and been a very fast person myself, and been involved in everything that has to do with speed. And we also see here with that moon conjunct Mars, it's making a trine to, let's start here with Pluto. It's making a loose trine to Pluto and his north node and Jupiter, all in Scorpio, the sign that is ruled by Mars and Pluto. Pluto being the higher octave of Mars, it represents power, it represents intensity, and the north node where this person would be headed is conjunct Jupiter, all in Scorpio, trine that Mars. So we see a lot of energy where there is a lot of speed, intensity, ambition, ambition to be number one, ambition to be the best. And it's in water. We see the trine there with Cancer and Scorpio. So, Cancer is known as being a emotional, soft, can be known as being an emotional, soft sign. But add Scorpio there as well. Cancer is also known as being tenacious, because when you put Mars and Moon together and you put that in Cancer, you add the Scorpio element. This You put the emotions behind everything that I said, with the ambition, the desire to be number one, to be the best, to be competitive. It makes for a very tenacious and intense person, and we definitely see that here in his chart with that trine between Cancer and Scorpio. And with this, with you could say, with the fact that it is a trine, this person would have much control over this. Like, a lot of people don't like these energies. They have a hard time dealing with them, but not this guy. This guy would be, he would enjoy it. He would embrace it. He'd want to be in these situations that bring these types of energies out in him. And we can see it's also making a trine to Saturn. So we have a grand trine between the Mars, Moon, Saturn, the Pluto, the North Node, and Jupiter. So oftentimes we see Saturn and Mars involved with athletics, and Moon and Mars, and he has both of those, and as do I. So I really can resonate with this guy, because I have a Mars Pluto trine, and I have a Mars Moon, as I said, Mars Moon conjunction, and a Mars Saturn trine. So we see this trine all in water. This guy would be very emotional. He would put his emotions into his racing, into his sport, and there could be times when it gets out of hand, but this is not going to be a guy who's bothered by it. He's still going to embrace it. It's not going to go away. He wants to be in those situations. He also, the public, with it being all this water, the public may really embrace this guy. They may really feel all these things that I'm mentioning about him. They may feel the intensity, feel the passion, and that would be one of the reasons why they would gravitate towards this guy, because we, the public and people in general, that's how they really relate to people through their emotions. And if we want to look more into that, we see the Neptune. We can look at the Neptune and see the Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is making a sextile to the North Node. That's an opportunity. And anytime we see a planet with the North Node, either by conjunction or sextile, square, trine, one of these angles, there's something that there's this planet has been emphasized in the past by this person. Living a big giant life, being on the big screen, that's all Neptune. And we see also his Neptune is making that conjunction to Uranus. It's making a square to Venus. And Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. He has Venus in Libra. These two aspects here with the Venus and Libra squaring that Neptune, minus the Uranus there, could also be a reason why the public would really like this guy, because he's, despite having all of that intensity and all that Mars stuff, and think of competitiveness and Saturn, the hardships of Saturn, that's all buried down in beneath the surface. On the surface, he's that moon in Libra everyone likes. He's a nice guy. He maybe he's more of a people pleaser. He looks good. Things like that that we're seeing really on the outside. Now we don't have his rising that would help understand that more. But even with the aspect there to Neptune, this could be a guy who's perceived as being very giving to the public and what he does. We also see that Neptune is making a trine to Mercury and in opposition to the moon. So lots of aspects to that Neptune, that ruler of Pisces, what we might call the cosmic Santa Claus, the person who is not just living a large life, being on the being an actor or being on a television screen, but someone who can really relate to the public. It's someone who is empathetic to others. And add that to all that water, this could be a very empathetic guy. He might really understand what he's doing, and he might understand the acting part of it. Like, it's just a role he's playing in his life, but in reality, he knows that he's a human being, and racing isn't as important as human beings are. The sport of racing. Now, he does have this Sun and Mercury in Virgo, so this is also very good for. Just this chart in general is excellent for being a professional athlete. And I add the Virgo there as well because oftentimes this is misunderstood with professional athletes. I mean, he has all this passion, this energy, and this maybe you could call it enthusiasm for the sport, competitiveness, but he has the ability to look at the details. That's that Mercury and Sun in Virgo. The ability to look at the details and analyze what's going on, because you need those skills to get to the top. You can't just be a great athlete. In his case, a great driver, passionate. You need to have the analytical abilities often to get to the top, to be the very best. And he does have South Node where he's coming from in Taurus, and that's ruled by Venus. So you can see this guy has the foundation, the foundational mindset, meaning he's willing to put in the work, the day-to-day grind. He knows that he needs to have a foundation. He knows he needs to have money in order to do what he does. And this could have been a guy. I don't know, I don't know for sure, but it suggests it could be a guy that comes from money with that South Node in Taurus and the ruler being in Libra. And it could come from having good relationships with people. And he does have a loose Jupiter-Venus trine, or I'm sorry, conjunction, uh, being there in Scorpio and Libra. So more indication that this guy's had some good fortune, but particularly good fortune here moving forward in life. We see that North Node, it's moving towards Jupiter, it's moving towards that Venus. So particularly whatever he's done in the past, whatever's coming from the past, is really working in his favor, and he's really moving towards good fortune in this life. So that is my mini reading for Carlos Sainz Jr. I'm going to leave it there for now. Just remember, this is only a mini reading. It's not exhaustive. So I hope you enjoyed that, and have a great day.